It's time you stopped thinking in terms of months, years, dates, days, and decades. We are not years or decades away from what we want. We are only ever vibrations away from what we actually want. Every experience that could possibly exist already exists as a possibility in the quantum field. In the 5D, there is no time. There is just infinite, eternal time. The past, present, and future possibilities all exist simultaneously at once. When you come into the present moment and you detach from your 3D experiences and your 3D circumstances, and you unfold into your subconscious mind, you unfold into the vastness of nothing and you detach from your thoughts, you will realize the amount of possibilities that you can access in that field. Instead of focusing on, I'm going to work really hard for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and then maybe I'll get the result that I want, instead focus on how can I shift my paradigm? How can I shift my state internally so that I can be a vibrational match to what I want to bring in? And that will get you there so much faster. So you do not have to wait months. You do not have to wait years. You do not have to wait decades to get to your desire. Your desire exists right now. The version of you living that desire exists right now. Every possibility for your experience actually exists in the divine non-physical right now, all at once. And those little intuitive hits that you get, these little yearnings, these little desires that you feel are nudges from the version of you who are living this reality to guide you and show you the way. And if you don't start listening to them, then you're not going to get there, and you're not going to be able to collapse time and collapse timelines and shift into the version of you who has the desire that you want. The version of you who has what you want doesn't want it. The version of you who has what you want just has it. And so that is the energetic frequency that you must be on. Easier said than done, I know, but we're going to go through it today. Essentially, you want to align mentally as often as possible and as much as possible with the frequency of already having what you want. So let's say, for example, you want a new car. If you believed you had the car, what would you feel? What would you think? How would you act? What would you say? You must tune to that mentally, embody that mentally, and act that out physically in order for that to actually be your reality. That's how you collapse time. Every choice that you make today, right now, is literally like an echo back from your future self who's already living it right now. They're there and they're with you. And in the moments where you feel very alone, lean into that. You're doing this for your younger self who believes in this future, and you're doing it for the future self who's already done it and who's already strong enough to overcome the stuff that you don't think you're strong enough to overcome right now. You are. There's a version of you who is and who exists right now. You just have to align mentally with that version. If you want to actually begin tapping into other possibilities and breaking away from your current experience of reality, you must master your attention. Where you send your consciousness by putting your attention on something and investing your emotions into something is what will expand and grow for you. So most of us go throughout life and we get caught up in the circumstances and environment that we're placed in. We get caught up in the relationships around us, the circumstances around us, the hardships that we're facing in front of us. And this is where the danger comes in, because we're constantly in our rational, conscious, thinking brain logic all the time. And we don't realize that within our minds, we have something called a subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind runs our autonomic nervous system, which keeps our body alive without us thinking about it. So it allows us to continue to breathe. Our heart keeps pumping. It heals us. It digests our food, it regulates our body temperature, it does all of this and keeps us breathing without us having to ever think about it. So that's wild. And what happens essentially with your subconscious mind is everything that you place your attention on consciously eventually sends information into your subconscious. So the things that you place the most importance on consciously with your attention and with your emotions are what get conveyed into your subconscious mind. Once you put something in there, once you plant a seed in your subconscious, it grows and it will manifest physically in front of you. This is how people end up getting hypnotized. So in hypnosis, if you were to be put in a very relaxed state, your brainwaves slow down. When your brainwaves slow down in meditation, your consciousness goes from your neocortex or your thinking brain to your subconscious or your limbic brain, and it activates your autonomic nervous system. Once that is activated and your consciousness has flown into your subconscious, away from your thinking brain that you've always been using every day, day to day, where your rational, logical thoughts are constantly firing and wiring the same neural networks, once your consciousness shifts and moves, in hypnosis, what they do then is they introduce an idea. So they say, you're a monkey, right? Because that gets directly into your subconscious, then you will accept that idea, okay? Because it's been introduced to your subconscious. As soon as your subconscious accepts it, it will put it into effect immediately. It will trigger behaviors, feelings, thoughts, and emotions in line with that idea or suggestion. So as soon as anything is imprinted in there, whether it be good, bad, weird, whether there's hardly any evidence for it for anyone else, it doesn't matter. Your subconscious does not discriminate. People have managed to heal diseases. They've managed to bring in wealth, opportunities. They've managed to change their character completely, their outcomes completely, their environment completely, all through suggesting new ideas to their subconscious. So the subconscious is extremely mystical, and it is basically the powerhouse of creation that we each have access to. Essentially what's happening when you communicate something to your subconscious, you are showing your subconscious mind a particular frequency. And once your subconscious recognizes and accepts and stores that frequency within you, it will begin to scan the universe and scan your environment and scan everything within you and around you to find things that are resonant with that frequency, and it will attract those experiences to you. You will begin to be on the same wavelength as things that are of the same vibration of what you just put inside your subconscious mind. Everything exists in the non-physical in an eternal present moment. That is why when we become present and when we take our energy and our focus out of the conscious thinking mind and let it go back into the subconscious, that's how we tap into these possibilities. We no longer have a limited view on what's possible for us. We begin to see the unlimited potentials for our reality and for our lives. The potentials beyond what we could perceive, they exist as literally potential energy. Because again, if you look at atoms, electrons that are surrounding atoms, they only exist as potentials. So they're just waves carrying potential information and frequencies until they are observed by us. So that is why the observation happens within your subconscious. Your subconscious is like the mystical gateway between where you are right now and a potential possibility in the non-physical. Because when you give a new belief or a new idea to your subconscious and your subconscious takes it, then your subconscious will start to observe that possibility. When a possibility is observed, it collapses into matter. The reason that we're experiencing time is because when we come here, we basically come here to be creators of our own fulfillment. And if there were no time, if we had, like it is in the non-physical, if we had just every possibility existing all at once in an eternal present moment, then we would not be able to learn and grow and realize consequences and results of our actions. So let's say, for example, you do a good deed once and you get rewarded immediately. That's not teaching you persistence. That's not teaching you patience. That's not teaching you delayed gratification. That's not evolving your character. And so when we came here, that is why time is an illusion. Our senses were designed for us to just experience it like this, so that we could, even faced with time, learn to grow and evolve and plant seeds now, knowing that they maybe won't be seen for a long time. So time is here for that purpose, but in the non-physical, essentially, it's kind of difficult for us to conceptualize this, but if you think about every possibility, every experience and every possibility for an experience exists simultaneously at once, right now, in the present moment, in the non-physical. So we're just kind of traversing down this path, but if you zoom it all the way out, it all exists right now. And you want to think of this like basically a building, and if you are on the 15th floor of a building, that's the present moment, like that's right now. So every floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 14 has been the past up until now. You're on the 15th right now. But in a 40 floor building, if you look outside the building, you can see, okay, so if you want to imagine yourself in the 5D, you're looking at the building, which is your experience physically in the 3D, you can see that it all exists right now in front of you. Just because you're on the 15th floor doesn't mean the 38th floor doesn't exist. It exists right now. It's right there. And actually, the fact that you desire something is a very key indication that it is pulling you towards it. So this is where things really start to get fun, and you can start to play with the simulation of life. When you know that everything exists all at once in the non-physical, and it essentially exists as different possible dimensions and experiences, then you can learn to begin to tune into that reality with your attention and with your emotions by tuning into your subconscious and detaching from your current circumstances. And I'm going to say that over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face, because that is how you do it. You detach from the past, you detach from the present. You go within, you allow your consciousness to come out of your thinking mind and into your intuitive subconscious mind. There are infinite possibilities. There you are connected with the divine, with the infinite. And you can realize and set your desire, and you can just bask in the feeling. You can send out an energetic signal of what you want. So if you want to be earning $100,000 a month, if you want to be driving a Lamborghini, you imagine that and you set the clear intention with the emotion, with the emotional charge that you know you're going to have in that experience. And that creates the basically the electromagnetic signature of that feeling. So you're introducing that frequency to your subconscious. And the more and more and more you do that, the more you program to your subconscious that you're experiencing this now. And the stronger that frequency gets within you, the more that things will come rushing at you that are aligned with that frequency. And that is literally how it works. But what happens then is you can't just meditate. You can't just visualize. When you leave your meditation after you've told your subconscious, this is it and this is what I want, what happens then is you're going to have intuitive feelings and little nudges to do certain things. You're going to have random inspirations and ideas come to you, and it's probably going to be stuff that puts you outside your comfort zone. But following that is what is going to collapse time. Following that is what's going to shift you on another timeline, onto the timeline of your desire. Okay? Those are coming from your subconscious. So essentially, when you feed a new possibility to your subconscious goes, and subconsciously, you don't have to think about it, like just like how it runs your body and keeps you alive, it goes and gets all the little ideas and things that you need, and it nudges you and it says, hey, you should go visit the city. Hey, you should reach out to that friend. Hey, you should go do this random thing. And sometimes it seems so unrelated. And like, I don't understand how this relates back to anything that I want, but you have to trust that and you have to follow that. Even if it means leaving your relationship, even if it means quitting your job, even if it means leaving a friend behind, even if it means doing uncomfortable shit. If your intuition is shouting at you after you've introduced a new desire, that is your map. That is your blueprint to getting there. And if you don't follow it, you're not going to get there. So if it's worth it for you, then follow it. What happens is we get caught up in time. So time will keep you down if you let it. And how you get around time is by, first of all, detaching from your incessant dwelling on the past and your worrying about the future. When you come into the present moment, that is the power that you get. You get the power of being in your divine creative energy, because that is the energy of the infinite. It's an eternal present moment where everything already exists. And so when you come into the present moment, when you let go of the past, when you let go of the future, and you just are here now, embodying an energy, then you are becoming a creator. That is when you are at your most powerful self. How do you do that? Literally just by letting go of all the things from yesterday you're worrying about. Letting go of trying to predict and stress and control whatever is coming tomorrow, whatever you're stressed about tomorrow or next week, letting that go. Being in your body, being here right now. Because why? The body is the subconscious mind. When your attention is over here and over there and over here and on tomorrow and on next week and on this person and that person, you are disconnected from yourself and your own powerhouse, which is your subconscious mind, which is connected to your body. So be in your body. And when something comes up that you know you have to do, and you know you have to do it now, when you procrastinate that, time is outsmarting you. Time is getting the better of you, because you're saying, I'll do it later. So you're giving that to time, and then time has a hold on you. When you do it now, when you do what you need to do and you do it now, you take your power back. You outsmart time. And this is how successful people live, but they don't think about it on a quantum spiritual level. But this is what's happening. There's a reason why people who are successful, they take action very quickly. Why? Because they don't allow things to fester. They don't allow things to dwell. They have control of their time. And when you control your time and you control your internal state, you control your reality. As soon as you get an idea for something, you say, do it now, do it now, do it now. That's how you collapse the time. If you want some practical tips, I'll give you practical tips. Stop programming your mind with TV shows. Stop programming your mind with news. Stop programming your mind with anything that is not serving your desire, because all that is doing is getting in the way and filling your subconscious, which is your creative powerhouse, with junk that is just blocking up your creative channel. Clear it out. Sit in silence. Bring your attention back into your body and take it off everything going on around you. I'll give you an example of something that I did, and there's a reason why I fucking believe in this, is because it's worked for me so many times, but I'll give you a clear as day example. I had gotten really into meditation, and I was getting to a point where I was really able to get present. I was able to detach from my thoughts. This was after a couple of months of meditating. So every single day in the morning, I was meditating for 10 minutes, then 20, then 30, then 40, then an hour, right? And for me, it was worth it, because it was changing my fucking life in every area. All of my dreams were coming through. I felt completely connected. I was seeing signs, synchronicities. I was able to think of something and it would appear. Like, a lot of small stuff was coming to me. But on this particular instance, I wanted to see if I could manifest cash, a particular sum of cash. Because I knew I felt very aligned, and because I felt extremely powerful and tuned into my own subconscious, I was like, fuck it, let me try and manifest some cash. I needed some cash for rent as well. So I was like, let me see if I can come across some rent money. So what I did is I did my normal meditation. I called all my energy back to myself. I called all my attention back to myself. I called all my energy and attention back into my body. I became very present in my body. I slowed down my brain waves. I detached from the past. I detached from everything. And I was just hyper present in the moment, unfolding into my subconscious mind, into just the vast possibilities of everything and everyone. When I got to that point and I felt like I was just floating in the universe and I was completely peaceful and just if you meditated, you know this feeling, just completely peaceful, detached, and like anything was possible. I then imagined I was living, vividly I imagined this, I was living in a reality of a person who just woke up and just found cash, right? I was imagining that I was someone who just had all this cash just laying around, right? And I never really have cash, I just use card, but I was like, there's somebody somewhere, there's some version of me somewhere then, who is just, has this sum of cash. They have this cash and they have it there and it's there. And that cash is like right there. And I could see it and I could feel it and I could live it as if that cash was in front of me right now. And I was like, oh my God, I have this cash. That's so cool. I'm so grateful for this cash. That's amazing. And I felt like I had it. I felt like it was done. I was like, cool, that's who I am. Let it go. Came out of the visualization, came out of the meditation, went about my day. 2 days later, I was in my bedroom, and behind the dresser in my room, I found a wad of cash in my bedroom. It was not mine. Before rent was due. And so like I will always remember that, because it was the exact amount that I needed for rent. And I just remember like picking that up, and I was shaking so bad, and I was on the phone to my friend and I was like, you literally can have anything. You just have to tune to it. Time is irrelevant. Frequency and vibration is what matters the most. And you can do it. You can have it. There's a version of you that exists right now who is fulfilled, who has no anxiety, who has no stress, who has confidence, who has peace, who's full of love, who's healed. Okay? That version of you exists. And in the intuitive nudges and the things that you know you should be doing, that is them trying to guide you to that reality. And it's on you now in this moment to detach from everything that's been before and everything that's trying to distract you, and align with that, and align with what you can do right now in this moment. And that is how you get there. So there's 3 kind of components to this. So this is turning into a manifestation video, but that's fine. But there's 3 components if you want to successfully manifest something new into your experience. And trust me, I've done trial and error with manifestation. The reason it's difficult is because people forget one of these 3, right? So you need to be aligned across, basically you need to be aligned mentally, physically with what you're actually doing in your actions, and then spiritually. And so at this time, when I began to find it really easy to manifest, the one that clicked for me was spiritual. I had mentally figured out how to do it. I had been physically taking the actions, but I didn't have the spiritual one. So the difference is, mentally, you're tuning to the frequency like what I just described. So you're detaching from your current reality, from your current thoughts, from your current beliefs, from your current emotions, from your current circumstances, and you're aligning mentally, emotionally with your beliefs, with your thoughts, and visualizing the experience of what you desire as if you're living it, okay? That's you aligning mentally. That's you creating the frequency within you, okay? Mentally. Physically then, when you get intuition to do certain things, you take the aligned action, because that's coming from you putting that frequency within your subconscious. So you actually take the aligned action. You don't ignore your intuition, you follow it. That's physically. And then spiritually is you trust and you surrender to the divine, to God, to figure it out for you. You do not go into your ego and trying to control and trying to predict and questioning and doubting. No. You trust and surrender it all to God. That is spiritual alignment. When you know it's done, when you know you have it, when you have it mentally and you have it emotionally and you know you have it and it's done and you trust and you don't have to do anything, and when you take the aligned action, you just feel like, yeah, I have it, but you're not chasing, you're not fearful, you're not doubting, you are trusting, you know you are in the hand of the divine, of the all, and you're being guided. And even when shit goes wrong, you know that it's going wrong for your greatest good, and everything is happening to manifest what you want, and you have that absolute faith and that absolute trust. There's a reason why faith is mentioned so many times in the Bible. There's a reason why faith is so important. It's the opposite to fear. Fear kills any manifestation. When you're living in fear, when you're living in lack, when you're living in doubt, it will not happen. You have to have blind faith. You have to just trust that the Creator is going to be the one that figures out how this is going to come in. It's not on you. You've got very limited knowledge as a human being. You don't know all the moving pieces. You can't zoom out of time and look at all the possibilities that exist. You can only be here now in this present moment and take the intuitive, aligned action now in the present moment. And the rest is up to God. So those are the steps. Once you do those three and you align spiritually by trusting, mentally by tuning, and physically by taking inspired, aligned action with your intuition, time collapses and you jump from this dimension, this floor in the building of reality, to another floor. You can just transport there, which is pretty cool. And you have to just stay consistent and stay trusting and know that when you do this, you're going to be shit tested. But that is to show that you're committed to your frequency. And that is to show that you trust in the divine. And when you pass those tests, you will get there. Okay, that's all for this video, guys. I hope it helped. Please remember, you've got everything you need inside you to live the life of your desires. You just have to stop giving your power away to everything external to you, to all these beliefs that make you feel like shit, and start tuning back into yourself, your own inner guidance, your own inner voice, and the power that is held within your own subconscious mind. You've got it all within. I hope this video helped, and I will see you in the next one.